Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you are in the world today, I hope that you are doing great. Hope that all is pleasant for you. And most importantly, my friends, hope that you are in good health. Once again, welcome to the Common Sense channel. On this channel, we get to talk about those things that people know, that people have thought about, but don't often have the time to discuss. These, my friends, are the things we discuss here on the Common Sense channel. So once again, welcome to the Common Sense channel. So today I want to talk to you about the end time. The end time prophecy. And if you may ask me, I say that prophecy is a fantasy. Again, the end time prophecy is a fantasy that will never happen, but is in the hearts and minds of millions, if not billions, of people in our world today. And the only remedy for that is for people to start loving this place. When I say this place, I'm talking about the earth where we live. Because of that fantasies, those people are doing their utmost best to make sure that the fantasy or fantasies comes true. But we know that all of that has already happened. There is a famous war. I call it AKA European Civil War. And some people call it World War II. That war was according to, not in my view now, but according to most people with this fantasy, the end time, that should have been the war that end all wars. That should have been the war that are ushering the Antichrist. That should have been the war. But unfortunately, for these people with the fantasies, that didn't happen. It was a terrible war. There were millions of lives that were destroyed during that war. In fact, they defined the war into two blocks: the good guys and the bad guys. So the axis of evil were considered the bad guys. So now some of us that have done our research, we have come to the conclusion that there was no good guys, that there was no bad guys. All of them were fighting for something called resources. They were all fighting for resources. They were all fighting for control. And you can see the outcome of that war, World War II, aka European Civil War, ushering what we're having today, a new world order. It's what we're seeing today. Now, they are slowly building up another end time drama. And you can see it happening. All you need to do is pay attention and go back into history. I know there are millions of people out there that are historian, that are history lover. Anyone that loves history, according to my own definition, you, my friend, is an historian. You don't need no one to tell you. You don't need no degree on this stuff. You just need to know history. Pay attention again. Pay attention, and you would know. If you pay attention to all of the events that happened in the past 60 years or in the past 70 years, you can almost piece together where all of the drama is heading. They are starting to drum up a new scenario. I'm not going to say doomsday, because this right here, when I say this, I'm talking about this world that we're living in does not belong to any of these people with their fantasies. So they can drum up all they want about end time. It's not going to happen. So I'm going to talk to you about elements that you see. And the end time they're talking about, the people that are going to be persecuting you, it's not no boogeyman called Satan. No, it's a human being. And the human being is in the form of government. You understand? The government are the ones. And let me say, there's an event in history that for the first time we saw religious persecution was during the Inquisition. During the Inquisition was the first time. I think there's others before. There's others before. I can't go way back into that, but there are others before that almost predict, because when the book of Revelation is talking about the end time, again, listen keenly. When the book of Revelation, written by John on the island of, I think he was on an island when he wrote that book, when he's speaking in the book, it's a vision. It don't mean that it's something that he was looking at happen, physically looking at it happening in real time. It was a vision that was given to him of the end time. But he was talking about the Roman Empire. It was a powerful empire that was persecuting people of his tribe, of his time. So when we are looking at the end time, we will be looking at government, powerful government, persecuting us, not on a religious basis, but on something that I call the Jesus consciousness. You understand? The Jesus consciousness has no religious connotation to it. You understand? It's just understanding the self. And then once you understand the self, and then you start to question all of those things that you deem as lies. You understand? All those things, especially religious, organized religion. You understand? And in time, in history, we've seen organized religion has never wanted anyone to question it. When it comes to the teachings, the doctrine, the culture, the tradition that are found within organized religion has always resisted. So, example would be the Inquisition. If you try to question the validation of organized religion, that's war. And there's a term they use during the Inquisition that I think will come again. It's called heretic. Those people that don't adhere to certain elements of the belief. Me personally, I believe there's an Almighty. But I don't believe that Almighty is God. You understand? So that's my belief. That can be in conflict with organized religion, because organized religion tell you that you are not God. But if you read organized religious doctrine, you will see in there's this bunch of contradictions. Because right within the beginning of Genesis, it tells us that we are God. I don't need no one to tell me that I'm a God. And, it's empirical, it's observational, and it's something that you can see. Take, for example, my own child. Everything that I am, when I look at my boy, I see the same thing in my boy. So when I look at my son and I see the way he walks, the way he looks, his eyes, his body hairs, his arm, his legs, when I look at my son, all I can see is me. You understand? So we are the one procreating. We're the one creating ourselves. But we are not almighty. You understand? So that alone is a contradiction. The same scripture says that we are God, and then human being says that we're not. So who is speaking in the book? Is it God or human beings? You understand? So that's what we question things, and all logic begins with question. And organized religion, we didn't want you to question. And right now, let me tell you, organized religion is losing the ground. And whenever organized religion start to lose the argument or the ground, they often resort to violence and control. Take that. It's happened in history, and nothing will stop it from happening again, because history is life, and those that don't learn from it often repeat it. So let me give you some idea of what our society will look like when these people are in charge. And in 1993, if you, all those that watch my videos, you will notice I often talk about different things. Because why? I control the narrative on my platform. I don't care if one person watch my videos. I'm okay with that, because once I reach one person that gets the information, that's okay for me. You understand? That's how I roll. So in 1993, there is a movie called Demolition Man. If you've never seen that movie, I want you to watch it. You see, the director of a movie, every movie has a meaning. Every movie has an intention. Every movie has subliminal messages. But you need to watch the movie. Don't just listen to the sound effects. Don't just listen to the noise in the movie. Don't listen to the effect of the movie. Listen to the key messages in there. Although the director gave a different um, message as far as the movie plot and theme is concerned, but you need to look beyond what the director is trying to say. Let me tell you, all movie directors are very religious. I don't want to say very religious. I want to say extremely religious. And each movie that comes out often have a hidden messages. So let's look at Demolition Man from my own perspective of the movie. And I'm giving you this from my perspective of the movie. When you watch that movie, it was chaotic. And there were, in fact, the movie, this is unique now. The movie plot actually started in 2032. That's when Sylvester Stallone, he has a name, I think Creole something, Creole something. I can't remember it, but it's kind of scientific, like a sci-fi scientific name that is given. But his name is Sylvester Stallone. In the movie, is the law enforcer, and then the villain in the movie, who also was imprisoned in a almost like incarnated way. He was put into prison in almost like he was frozen in time. You understand? So he also came out. When he came out, he looked at society and said, no, this is not what I left. So he started causing havoc in the movie. And then Sylvester Stallone was to bring stability. If you watch that movie, the setting alone, and the city in that movie was called Angeles. It was called San Angeles. You understand? So it's backward. You see, that's why you got to pay attention to movie directors. They often tell you what the future will look like because they know these are knowledgeable people, and they know these things. So if you look at that movie, there are two class of people in the movie too. They are the nobles, the lords. They oversees everything. And then there are the oppressed people. If you notice, the oppressed people don't live in the cities. They live underground. And also, if you notice, Wesley Snipe, who is the main villain in the movie, he is not oppressing the poor people and I call them the oppressed people. He is actually fighting against the system, but the system make him look bad, so they can get hold of him. But if you watch the movie, you see he is fighting against the system, and Sylvester Stallone is the one trying to protect the system. And every now and then, the oppressed people will come up and fight because they're living underground. They all went underground. And that's exactly what gonna happen during this fantasy called the end time. It's not gonna be no Satan. He's not gonna the whoever is gonna be doing this not gonna have horns on their head. They're human beings, my friends. All of these things are fantasies. The only thing, or the only people that can oppress you are human beings. I don't know if that's going to work in this country because the movie actually was in this country. And guess what? It's actually 7 years from now. You understand? 7 years from now, a movie that was done in 1993. And from that time, they were looking into the future. 7 years from now, this is when that whole thing happened in the movie. So 7 years from now, imagine what our world will look like. It's a long time, but it's not too long. You understand? So yes, so that's what the movie was portraying. So they don't expect someone coming from anywhere to oppress you. It's going to be your government doing that. We don't know what kind of form of government it's going to be. But I know in the future, there's going to be two types of people. It's going to be, no, three. Going to be the nobles, the lords, the peasant, the poor people. And they are constantly going to be fighting each other for control. Someone is going to be trying to impose their views on you. And then either you accept it or you fight back. So that's what it's going to be. Those people who want to fight back, they will fight back and they will remain underground. And those people who would cave in, they'll just cave in. I don't know about 666 because that's another fantasies. No one is going to be put, I don't know, maybe in this country, or I don't think it's going to happen in America. Maybe somewhere else. They're going to put a mark on your forehead. All of these things, my friends, are, you know what I mean? Fantasies. It did happen. Something similar, but not 666 now. There were a group of people in Europe. They're Europeans, Jew, and they were told, they were required to put on something like a hand a wrap with a flag of their country on there. They had to distinguish themselves from the other people. That's the way you know if this person is a European Jew. So that was just a way they had to put that on their clothes wherever they went. You understand? Just to show who they are. You understand? So it didn't happen like they said it would, but it was a tough time. We're talking about almost 6 years of fighting, killing, destruction, you know. And I won't say globally, but it was in certain locations. You understand? So yeah, so I don't know if maybe it's going to be something similar like that where you had to distinguish yourself, and while you're out in the world, if you have to do something, go to the store, buy food, grocery, work, maybe you have to, I don't know, you know. But we know in history, the only religion that has oppressed everyone is Christianity. You understand? And I think I talked about Catholicism the last time, and I'm going to mention Catholicism. If you Notice in doing the Inquisition, it was the Catholic Church that was trying to, I don't know what they were doing, but they were trying to spread the religion. But they were the ones moving along that time, making sure that everyone got converted into Catholicism. You know how many European Jews that became Catholics? A lot. No one ever talk about it. There are a lot of European Jews that are Catholics because of the Inquisition. Yeah. So maybe as people drift away, and you can see that even in Africa now, people are starting to speak against organized religion. And because of that, the belief system, the values around religion is fading away. So all of that can usher in the same situation or the same events that we had during the Inquisition. But check this out. This time it's not going to be the Catholic Church. And how I know that, how do I know that? It's because if you look at the situation in Gaza right now, the only religious denomination, I know there are others out there, but they're not doing it openly. The only religious denomination that are standing up and speaking out verbally, not just wink, wink, verbally, is the Catholic Church. And many Catholics are speaking up. That's why I honor the Catholic denomination, because they don't change. They always stand on principle. Whatever they read in those books at church, the one the Pope writes for them every year, I think there's a new one out now. Whatever in that book is what they follow. They don't change. They only adapt. They adapt with time. They're the only ones that are speaking. So it's the opposite. So now whoever is going to be running this new fantasy called the end time or the new world order involving the end time are not going to be the church. This time it's going to be the government. But we don't know which one. Because I can't say right now, I cannot say right now that it's going to be the United States. Well, if the United States, or they said Trump, a lot of people are saying Trump. I don't think it's Trump. Yeah, Trump will have to subdue Russia. He will have to subdue China. And maybe he's going to take all the nuclear bomb he has to do that. He's going to subdue maybe Brazil. Maybe Brazil a little bit. But any country that has nuclear weapon, Pakistan, India, all of these countries to make this thing one world order. And that's going to take more than 1 year. It's going to take more than 2 years. It's going to take more than 3 years to do that. So maybe it's a future government. We don't know. But I don't think it's going to be done by force. It's not going to be done by war. It's not going to be done by force. It's not going to be done by, if the fantasy will come true, it's not going to be done by nuclear bomb, neither. You understand? It's going to be done in a very smooth, deceiving, and calculated way. And a conniving way to get everyone to believe that this person is right. And one element of that movie, Demolition Man, that I didn't talk about, is the technology. If you watch that movie, since I think it was a sci-fi, futuristic movie, you can see in it the technology. You saw the ATM machine when Wesley Snipes broke into one and it was talking back to him. You saw the cars they were using in that movie. You saw the technology. This was 1993. None of those technologies were introduced to our world. Maybe some people had them, but not everyone had them. The whole world were not introduced to that. But when you watch the movie, it was a projection into what the world would look like. And you can see them today. Everything that was in that movie, my friends, You can see it in our world today. And I think by 2032, when the entire scene must have outplayed or started, because the movie was actually in 2032. That's when the movie was happening, but it was 1993. You understand? So imagine what 2032 will look like in terms of technology. I think technology is going to be crazy. The kind of technology that will be around in 2032 is something the world has never seen. But yes, we're heading there. And that's what you saw in that movie. And my friend, technology, in as much as we can live without it, in as much as we can do without technology, in as much as our entire world, our entire being, our entire existence are wrapped around technology. Technology is the one that will usher in the change. Don't know what that change is going to be, but technology is the one that will usher in the control. But the control is not going to be like their fantasies. I'm talking about organized religion, fantasies. It's not going to be about that. But there will be an individual, but it's a government. It's a government. We don't know what that government is or what that government will be, but it's not going to be the church. But the church will cohoop with that government. I don't want to go deep into history, because if you're a historian, if you're someone that loves history like me, you would notice there are elements of that happening during World War II, when the church collaborated with the government. It's dangerous. We saw that in Rwanda. Yes. Yeah, go read. I don't want to tell you, but I just give you a clue. But yeah, that's exactly what our world is going to be. There are people that are going to resist. I seen that movie, Demolition Man. What you were seeing Wesley Snipes doing, that's exactly what Wesley Snipes was doing. He was resisting, and he was using the Second Amendment because they couldn't take his guns away. And even the people that were living on the ground, they couldn't take away their guns. You understand? I like to piggyback in what makes America great, right? And it's going to be hard for something like that to happen in this country, because everybody owns guns in this country. I like to, because that's the only way you're going to be able to. And for those people that believe in this stuff too, and those people that don't believe in government, that kind of like a little bit iffy about government, the best you can do is to start to create a family network. Because the only thing you're going to have, if it's ever going to happen, is family. That's why when you notice on my channel, I talk about family a lot. You know, the best way to control people is to divide them. Destroy the family network, where kids are not really caring about their moms, their dad, where kids are not respecting their parents, and where everything is chaotic. If you can do that, it's easy to control. You understand? You can just step in and say, now I'm the authority and no one can do anything. But if you have a society where everyone is neatly connected, it's hard for anyone to come out like that and try to control you, because you're already in a unison with your family. You cannot take out a family if they are intact. You can't even infiltrate a family when everyone is neatly connected. So you see, so to control, you have to destabilize the family. That's why individual like me, my videos not gonna go that far. But I don't really care much about it, because I already know. Here's one thing you wouldn't know or understand when I do this video. To be free, all those things that hold you back, you have to, the way to defeat them is to put less value on them. You see, they tell you democracy is the way. put less value on democracy. If you do that, you'll be free. They tell you religion is the way. Put less value, devalue the religion, and then you'll be free. They tell you there's a God up there. There's a God up there that controls his name. God. Devalue that. When you devalue that, you'll be free. Anything that it tells you is the norm. Put less value on it. If you put less value on them, then when something ever happened out of the blue, you won't be surprised because you already know. That's how you free your mind. That's how you free yourself. But the moment you start to put values on these things, some of the international based rules or laws, don't put any values on them. You understand? That's the least thing you want to value. The only thing you must value from the common sense channel are family. You understand? Because family cannot let you down when they are close knit, when they are together. You will not be let down by your family. No matter what, if something should ever happen in this country or anywhere in the world, the first thing you will see happen is families start to look for all of their loved ones. If there's an attack in America, hypothetically, the first thing that comes to your mind will be your kids, your family, your mom, your dad, and any extended family. That's who you're gonna be picking phone or calling, right? So that's, even though the family is not like how it's supposed to be now, but if anything should happen, that's the first people you want to call before, or not even want to call, the first people you would call. It's just natural before you start calling friends and other people that you know. You understand, to check on them. So that's what those people who don't want you to be united, that's what they try to destroy first. Destroy the family. Once they destroy the family, then it's easy to control you. You understand? So that whole end time scenario, that stuff, let me tell you, start reading that books or those books. Start reading them. The more you read them, the more you buy into it. It's someone's idea, someone's fantasies, what you're reading. It's nothing biblical about that. Because when you read the book of Matthew, again, Jesus, Yeshua HaMashiach, was telling his disciples, remember they asked him, when is your coming? What would happen? Tell us. And he told them, in your day, in your time, if you don't see this, this is what, then I'm not come yet. So he told them, he said, I will come in your day and time. So if those people waited all that time and Yeshua Mashiach didn't show up, when do you think he's going to show up? So just read. The reason why people are ignorant is because they don't read. Read. Once you start reading, look, go back. If you've I think it was a pastor that asked me. He said, I was just like everyone. He asked me, he said, I asked him, we're talking about tithing, and I said something, and he said something to me. And he asked me, he said, when was the last time you read the Bible? And I couldn't answer that question. I could not. But I just told him, yes, I do. But that question, I'm a curious person. So when he asked me that question, I couldn't lie. But I could not tell him. So I went home. And then I started looking at the book, right? My entire life, I've read the Bible. But this day, it was different. It was that day that I sat down and I can remember the passages. The passage in the book, it was popping up. I don't know if you ever had this experience. I can see the words popping out of the book, and it was clear as day. Yet things that I didn't know, because when I was in college, I took religious studies for like 2 years, trying to understand what this book was about. And all of this time was wasted. I still didn't understand. But that question the preacher man asked me was the beginning of my salvation. It was that day when I sat down that I believe the ancestors start to teach me. I start to understand. I started seeing the words popping out of the book and it started making sense. And everything that I read before, it was clear as if someone was talking to me. Someone was guiding me and telling me, see, this is the deception. This right here is false. This right here is misleading. I started understanding. I think it's going to happen to you too. That's when I became free. You understand? That's when I became free from that stuff. And ever since that time, I would go to church, but I can remember seeing myself sitting in the church and everything that was being preached was almost as if it was vain talk. Yes, I would sit there and I started asking real questions like, and sometimes the questions are almost disruptive because the pastor don't want me to ask questions like that. But I'll ask this question because I knew from that experience I had in the book, something was talking to me and was telling me, look here, this you've never seen this before. The thing was walking me through from one passages to another, taking me, I swear it's true. You will have that experience one day, and when you do, you will see. And that was when I said, you know what, I gotta talk about this stuff. I'm not anti-Christ. I don't even know what that stuff is. I call it a fantasy, a trash. I call it crap. There's no such thing as antichrist. Antichrist, in my own view, is consciousness. You understand? That's what Jesus was. Consciousness to ask questions about things that you think are not true. You get it? That's what the consciousness is about. Every one of us will come to that. The time has come when all of us will come to that consciousness. And we're going to question not just government, we're going to question everything. The food we eat, the clothes we wear, the water we drink, the air we breathe, the religion we affiliate ourselves with. Even God, there's nothing wrong with questioning God. Moses did it and didn't get in trouble. Everyone must question what is happening to their life. That's the Jesus consciousness. When Jesus looked at the people and tell them, look, you don't need to go to that temple. It's a new age now. The God you're looking for lives right in you. You don't need that place. Inside of you, that's where the God is. So imagine what that does to organized religion, which is a business. And the business that organized religion is in is one of deception, money making, deception, money making, deception, money making. That's what it's about. And that's what I talk about here. They're never going to argue with you because if they know you know what you're talking about, they're not going to bother with you. They're just going to leave you alone. If you watch, I've been on some I've been on social media, right? I've been on some platform where the individual is talking about things like this. All the individual needs to do, just mention Jesus' name. These people, they will come on there. These people are supposed, I mean, you wouldn't know them, but they are fanatics. They will come on there, right? Their job is to educate you. If you truly believe in the teachings of Yeshua HaMashiach, aka Jesus Christ, your job is to educate. You're supposed to be tolerant of others. But history has proven this to be wrong, that organized religion is not tolerant. Yes. And they know it. They will send their fringe on other people to try to just malign and bring them down, which is wrong. It's not Jesus-like. And that's what we do. In this country, there's something called freedom of speech. You can use it right. You don't have to be condescending on anyone's religious belief, anyone's values, whatever it is, as far as religion, organized religion is concerned. But you can speak out on these things. That's exactly what Jesus was doing, and he got in trouble. They're never going to tell you the reason why Jesus was murdered is because you're speaking the truth. And those people out there, a lot of people don't want you to speak the truth because they know the truth is going to open the eyes of the blind. It's going to heal the sick. It's going to wake up the dead. When they say dead, they're not talking about physically dead, even though you can be physical, but physically dead or spiritually dead. That's what Jesus was waking up. The spiritual dead. And there are people that are also physically dead, but they're walking. That's what Jesus was trying to bring up from the grave because they're in the grave. Why is it that when you go to the church, they have the cross on the top of the church? And then when you go to the graveyard, there's the cross there. So there are dead people in the church and there are dead people in the graveyard. So you're giving life to the dead. And both of these people, one is physically dead, and then one is spiritually dead, but physically alive. So you're giving life to them. That's what the church is supposed to represent. But the church is creating more dead people. You understand? That's what it's doing. Again, I don't want to say church, organized religion. Because church is a building. It has nothing. It's not biblical. And the reason why I think so, the church is you. And Jesus did not even build a single brick. He didn't even put a brick down and says this is a church. His mission was going from one place to another, preaching. That was it. Teaching consciousness of the self. They didn't take money from no one. Was poor as dead rat. They ain't own nothing. You know, couldn't say that's my establishment over there, worth millions of dollars. No. Couldn't align to anything, just preaching. And everywhere he went, there were a crowd of people. There were people seeking for help because these people were spiritually sick, spiritually dead, and it needed to be wake up. And I think all of those people in our world today, before the year of 2032, all of these people are going to be spiritually awake. They're not going to be dead. They won't need someone to save them. They won't need someone to bring them to life. They will know. And that's what Jesus said. He said, knowing the truth will do what? Set you free. And that's what happened when that preacher man asked me, when was the last time you read the Bible? And I was stunned. I didn't even know what to say. I couldn't lie and I couldn't say anything. So I just remained silent. But guess what? When I went home, that few time that I opened that book, that was the beginning of my salvation. Salvation means freedom. Freedom. You understand? Freedom for your own self. That's your salvation. It's not like that stuff they told you in the book. In my own view, salvation means freedom. Personal freedom. You understand? So yeah. The end time, in short, basically is someone's fantasies. Someone wrote that thing in a book, and you're playing by the fantasies. Don't be fooled. Don't be misled. This is 2026. Our world is going to get better every day from now on. Educate yourself. Read. The truth, the secret to the truth that Jesus said will set you free. They're all in the book. But you need to ask for guidance. So open your eyes so you can see. You are almost like spiritually blinded. So you won't be able to see it because the cloth of organized religion is over your face. From the time you were born, this stuff has been imputed into you. So it's hard for you to just walk away. There are people that walk away and go back because they have no outlet. But now in our world, there you can find communities of people out there that believe like you. Align with them. That's your church. Because Jesus said, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, Yeshua HaMashiach. So where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I will be with them. That's a community we're talking about. That can be your family, it can be outside of your family. Find these people, connect with them, because you need them in terms of their fantasies, the end time. You have this boogeyman trapping everyone, putting mark of the beast on it. 666 just mean human being. That's what is the code for human being. There's nothing demonic about it. I'm telling you, once you start to put less value on these things, they become insignificant to you. Just like life. If you're afraid of dying, then you're going to die. Just look at life and say, man, I'm going to live it until it ends. Don't be afraid. Don't go sit and worry, oh, I'm going to die tomorrow. No. Don't be worried about that stuff. If it happened, happened. But in order for you to die, you have to be part of it. Everyone is part and parcel of their own death. What do I mean? You play a role in your own death. Eat right, live right. Don't live a risky life. Live a life of purpose, a life of commitment to those things that are important to you. Stay away from trouble. Be kind. Be loving. Always be happy. Don't allow someone's drama to influence you. If you can do these things, religion not going to teach you what I just said right there. Religion will never teach you that, because that's going to bring peace to you. Money is not everything, but you need money. You understand? Don't say, like the people say, money is the root of all evil. Money isn't the root of all evil. Money, my friend, is not the root of all evil. Money is not evil. People are evil. And evil people with plenty of money do evil things. You get it? That's what it is. But money in and of itself is not evil. Now, those people that say that to you, tell them to go home. Take all of their money, go in their banking account. Take all of their money and give it to you. And take that money that they've given to you. Go to the homeless shelter. Bless someone in the homeless shelter. Go to the daycare. Help someone who needs their bill paid. Go to schools where their after school program where kids cannot afford to participate in this program. Pay for their fees and whatever is it they need to be paid. Go to the orphanages where people need kid needs who don't have parents, need help with clothes, shoes, and other things. Help them. Provide books, pencils to schools where kids don't have. Do and see what happens. See how much good that money can do. You understand? I think I've done video on this, but money in and of itself is not good, my friend. It's the way you live your life that must be good. That must be impactful. That must be a blessing to others. But all of these fantasies, the end time fantasies that they're talking about, it's them that are trying to make it happen. You can see them genning it up. And let me tell you, religious war has always been the main focus of all wars. Organized religion wars. That's what it is. Organized religion war, religious war. That's what it is. It's always been the bone of contention from the beginning, even though they add some of the little pieces to it. But religion has always been the main reason. It's always been the reason for all of the wars we've seen in our world today. And the ones we're about to see, they're genning it up, bro. You know, religion, control. Religion, control. Religion, control. Resources. You get it? That's what all of these wars are about. Has nothing to do with I call it the fantasies, the end time. You know, Jesus is not coming. Jesus already told them in the book of Matthew, but they failed to read that portion. Let me tell you, to understand the whole plot, read the entire book of Matthew, then you understand, right? Don't just read one verse, because when you go to these um program houses, they just take snippet of that scripture, and I think Matthew 6, you start to read 1 and all the way down, but it just take portion of it and read it to you. But you do your own thing. Go in there and just open it on your free time. Or if you're someone that can't read, do the audio too. Yeah, now the audio has been around for over maybe 6 years now. And read that. Listen to it keenly. You'll see it start to make sense to you. Yeah. So they know, but they have to come up with something. So anyway, I don't want my video to be long because let me tell you, once you start talking about this subject, it's like it's never ending. Because all of our problem is that resources, religion, resources, religion, resources, religion, power, control, resource, religion. So it's been around about, yeah. People always fighting. These people that say the world is going to end, why are they amassing wealth if they know it's going to end? See, got me, I don't believe in that. That's the first thing I did. First, I put less value to it because I know human beings are in charge of this place. We are. And we're the ones that are going to keep multiplying. The more we multiply, the more this thing continues. If we stop multiplying human beings on this world, then it's all ended. Simple as that. It's common sense. And that's what I do on my channel. By the way, I just want to thank everyone who continue to support what I do here, watch my videos. I appreciate you. I want to thank all those that are subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you and your loved ones. I hope that you are doing great. I hope that all is pleasant for you, my friends. And most importantly, my friends, I hope that you are in good health. That's very important to me. Your health is more important because money cannot buy that. No amount of money can buy your health. Watch, there are billionaires in this world that have some incurable disease, and they've been to every specialist in the world, the best of the best, and still can't solve that problem. And ultimately, leading them out of this world. You understand? But if you have health, even if you don't have money, if your pocket is not fat or loaded, you're a happy man, my friend. Just take it that way. And be grateful all the time for all of the most simplest things that you have or you can lay your hand on. And that's your family. Hold them tight. Hold them closer, especially in these times. These are crazy times. Hold them closer. Bring them closer. If you're in a relationship, draw it closer. Draw nearer to your woman, especially the one that you have, that you love, the one that's closer to your heart. You know, make it right with her if you can. And you too, ladies, make it right with that guy that's working every day to make you happy. I hope that you are doing great and have a pleasant day. Thank you, thank you, thank you.